Yeah. All right, we're live. Hello, comic book community. This is NammaN. We have a special guest today. But before I introduce the special guest and scare you guys with him, we have a panel today of K-pop. She's gonna take care of the all the other stuff, all the things that's going behind, and I'll be the lead. So bear with me. I'm not a pro, so just bear with me. But we do have a pro here with us, Bayani. I like to call him Mark, but he want to go by Bayani, and he's in his cosplay. It's one of his character from the comic book that he has created. It was awesome read, Bayani. I wasn't able to read all of it, but I do have some questions about it. Please go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
What's going on? It's your Filipino street hero, Bayani here, representing for all my Filipinos across the planet. We all need a hero. Melanated Kings, you know the tribe. What's going on, guys?
All right.
Hi. Well, that was sweet intro.
So you are a comic book writer, right?
Correct.
Creator, and you also do music,
Yes, I'm a hip hop artist.
hip hop artist. Awesome. I of course I got the information wrong from Eman. I'm blaming Eman for all this, by the way. I thought we invited artists. I mean, we invite both of them. Don't get us wrong. We invite both the artist and the writer, but I put on the title a artist. But you happen to be artist, anyways, hip hop
Yes,
artist, and
exactly.
he's going by his hip hop artist name, Bayani.
Yes,
Bayani. Yeah,
yes.
am I getting that correct?
Yeah, Bayani, Bayani. It means hero in Tagalog in Filipino.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
There seems to be a lot of Spanish in Filipino.
Yeah, we were colonized for 350 years.
Uh-huh.
Fighting.
Now, okay, I was reading that, and you shall we say hi to chat real quick?
Yeah,
Bye.
let's do that. Let's do that. I think we
Yeah,
should
let's
do
Oh,
that.
golden Uzis. Now I'm here.
Yeah. Brandon knows what's up. Yes, he is also a comic book writer as well. And we got GT. GT was been in here since
GT.
he's
8:06
always
a.m. 8:06 a.m. He's been in here
he
since
always talk your
8:06.
K-pop channel and does sport. Huge fan of K-pop, so
Love that.
Yeah, then we got
K-pop, got the fanhood.
yes,
Yay!
going on 30
yeah.
years. I'm an OG K-pop stan. 30 years. Let's go.
Oh, that's what's
Uh,
up.
what's up, E-Man? What's happening?
E-Man.
Oh yeah, I got hooked on that big time way back in the day. It was amazing. Yeah. I went down the whole underground hip hop rap as well in there. It's amazing stuff.
You're appreciating Asian culture and its dominion in a space.
Yes, definitely. I sure am. Yeah. Oh, E-Man is. How are you joining us from an Uber? Hopefully you're safe as you're Ubering. We got Miss So. Miss So, nice. What's up?
So
Brandon has a question. What is your shirt from, NammaN?
Cheap Trick, you guys know who Cheap Trick song? I want you to want me.
Oh, okay, NammaN.
Hey now.
Red the
Awesome.
surfer. I see you
What's up?
surfing and waving.
Yeah, what's up, Aaron? And then the best hip hop. Yes, I was also really big into Digital Underground back in the day. Shout out to them because
I get
awesome
around.
dudes. Yes.
All right.
Talk to me, guys.
Now I'm with the karaoke. We're gonna have
Karaoke.
to, yep, we're gonna have to do karaoke night again. That was fun. I had to bring that back out. Hopefully, maybe sometime in June after we're well finished with the AAPI stuff because I think we did way more than we thought we were gonna do this month.
Yeah. Okay, back to Bayani. Bayani. So the book starts with these conquistadors. Did we show that comic book somewhere? That comic book cover.
It might be on the here. Try the website. Do you see the website? Here, let me just type in the chat. Let me paste it in the chat anyways, because people can click it to go there. Well, while we figure that out, Brandon has a question. Bayani, aside from your own characters, who are some of your favorite comic characters?
So let's go with like top 3. I would say Daredevil, Mr. Matt Murdock, Magneto, Eric Lensher, and I really love the poetry of Silver Surfer. I'm a super fan of Lauren Rad.
There you go. Oh, right here in the chat. He's right here in the chat.
Norman would love that.
He'll
because his
definitely.
name is Aaron, that goes by Norman. So
yeah, yeah, that's some cool stuff. How long ago did you get into comics? You've been always into comics, just had something?
Yeah. Since a little kid, I remember my first comic book was What If #1.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. I got Inja in the house. What's up, Inja?
Inja, what up, girl? Yeah. So What If #1 has been my. That was like in kindergarten. It's like a 1989 comic book. I recently went on eBay just to get it. I'm like, yo, I need that comic ASAP.
Good picks. Yeah, there was some good issues in the What If. I really like the Marvel team ups. Those were fun for me.
We got Eman asking questions out here.
Yeah, he's all the way from the Uber asking questions. For those who don't know, can you tell us the significance of Lapu Lapu in relation to the realist Bayani?
Okay, so, that's like inside story kind of stuff here going on.
Yeah, did you figure out how to get the comic book, Nam?
No, I'm sort of struggling here a little bit. So let's go ahead and answer email first.
All right, cool. So Lapu Lapu is the name of a war chief. Originally his story is that he came from Malaysia and traveled to the Philippines and met a man named Raja Humabon. Raja is like the king chief, you know, like he's like the boss of the bosses. So Raja Humabon recognized Lapu Lapu for his reputation as a warrior. And apparently Lapu Lapu is kind of like a Far East Viking, you know, like they would just like storm islands or villages and like hunt for gold, precious metals, spices, etc. So Lapu Lapu had made a trip to the Philippines and ended up staying there. He ended up stationing with his men in Mactan. Raja Humabon gave him a lot of land or a section called Mactan Island. And I guess he, you know, I'm not a super historian, but I believe Lapu Lapu had built his reputation with the Filipino tribes that were there and eventually became their leader. And so Lapu Lapu is actually the first encounter of resistance, of native resistance against the Spanish. So Bayani is a name given to the revolutionaries. So he would be the first revolutionary of the Philippines, Lapu Lapu.
So on your book, so this sort of answering my question, didn't it? Kind of. So it is a little historical in there, and there's your story is based on some history and some legend, right?
Yes. So it's pre-colonial Filipino history mixed with superhero lore.
I see. And then it goes back and forth between the past and the present time.
Past, present, yep.
Okay, so cool. Really enjoy the art. Who's your artist in that?
So this artist that we see here on the cover is the artist of issue 1, 4, and 5. His name is Very Wong. He's actually an Indonesian artist.
Oh, cool.
He's not Filipino, but you know, Indonesians, Filipinos, you probably couldn't pick us out of a pot if we was in there. You know, like we would all look like adobo. You know, so Very Wong, like Indonesia, like picture like Raid. You know, like if you watch the movie Raid, have you guys seen Raid?
Raid?
Right.
I don't think so.
Have you seen Ong Bak?
Yes.
Is that the raid where this guy is fighting inside the building?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen
I
that. I've
forgot
seen
his
that.
name. I forget his name, but he's an awesome.
Tony Jaa?
No, it's the other guy. I forget his name. He's really freaking awesome though. He was the star of Raid, and if you look at like the setup of their slums and their underworld, it's similar to the Philippines.
Yeah, Raid is one of those movies that actually I don't buy movies on Amazon, but one of those movies that I bought, the Raid. But I mean, the martial art in there was just brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal is
Nice.
what-
I haven't seen those, but I'm gonna have to definitely see that because I love martial arts movies. And
Yeah.
everyone is saying Iko
Iko
Uwe. Yeah.
Uwais. Iko Uwais.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that this book is sold out. Is it anywhere in the? I mean, could we find this in some shelf?
Yeah, so right now we're restocking. I'm just like
Okay.
right we're cutting down the page count because it's 212 pages
Mhm.
and it brings the book up to $50. So we're
Okay.
gonna cut it down in page count because nobody really reads that many pages. You know, they're just gonna stack it, like and not get to it. I feel like it's intimidating. It's like, hey, you want to read the Bible? And it's like,
Take you a while.
3 for Jesus only? Nah. So yeah, so like for this, like the Bayani, I'm just cutting down the page count, and we're gonna
Okay.
restock in the next week or so.
Nice. That's awesome. Good question from Timothy. Where's the golden Uzis? Yes. Boom. The drink.
There you
Right
go.
Yes.
All you had to do was ask.
Yeah.
Maybe oh, hey, Loquin.
Yes.
Good.
Loke is in here. We got a couple people. Tate, what's up, Tate? Yes.
Look,
good old Maki.
I just want to say here. Um, no, hold that up. Bayani. There's a name right there. Anyway,
Hey,
Bayani, we're going to introduce you to. I mean, we're going to invite you to our May 31st event as well, and we're gonna give away some stuff from our artists and stuff. So, what is that we could give away on your show? I mean, on your, you have a store?
we don't really do giveaways.
No, I don't expect you to give away. Is this something I could buy to give away to our audience?
We do have t-shirts right now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of them right here.
Okay, so I definitely have to find that store and go find that store, and we're gonna give away that T-shirt. By the way, anyway, we expect you to. I mean, we want you to come back on May 31st, but you don't have to come back, of course. We don't expect you to come back. But
I could pop up if I'm not babysitting. If I don't have my baby.
we're gonna have 5-6 hour streams, and you can pop in 5 minutes or whatever, and just say hi, and maybe do some duck races and stuff. So. And then we're gonna invite Loquin as well. He's an artist. He's an experienced comic book creation. If you're looking for an artist, you probably want to look for him as well.
See a Vietnamese guy?
Yeah, he's a Vietnamese, and he lives in Canada. So
Very cool.
all right, let's get back to Bayani. So what made you start? What made you start this book? What inspired you?
That's a usual question. So for me, what made me start the book was multiple tiers of reasons. I'll give you 2 of the reasons. One was my cousin passing away from a drug overdose.
Oh yeah, you may mention something about that.
So I just wanted to be audible for this. So my cousin passed away from something called shabu. He had relapsed. He had relapsed in 2013, and shabu is a form of crystal meth. Uh, I never really get into this part of the details, so this is a unique part for this show. Crystal meth is like well, shabu is like a form of crystal meth in the Philippines, and it was like an epidemic for a lot of the country. So when he came back from the Philippines to America, he was kind of rehabilitating himself. He had 2 felonies, but ended up having 3 jobs, like 2 to 3 jobs, which is unheard of, right? For people to have felonies, 2 strikes is it makes it really hard for people to get work. So he ended up with his charisma, his charm, his hard work, his dedication. He ended up landing 2, 3 jobs, and he was doing pretty good for like 2 to 3 years. He had a son in the Philippines that he was supporting, and eventually he relapsed. And when he relapsed, I was really judgmental in that time of him,
Mm.
like with his addiction, and I was kind of tough on him. So it's like a slight guilt that made me incorporate him and feel that calling to resurrect him and have that second chance to treat our relationship better, you know.
Mm.
The character Bayani is named after him. Bayani is Marlon Ramos. So I rebirthed him into this comic book universe, into TCNY, The City Needs You. That's like my Marvel company, TCNY, The City Needs You. It's like a declaration, the city needs you, K-pop, the city needs you, Nam. And when I say that to you, it's like your soul almost answers for you, like, yo, they need your humor, they need your personality, in the room. Like you light up people's lives and their days, like what does people need from you? What does your community need from you? That was the point of like what I made this comic book company for. So when I created the realist Bayani, it was in honor of Marlon Ramos. So I could also tell his son, in the Philippines, that his father is named after that Bayani is named after his father. I wanted to purify his legend for his son. Um, The second reason I made it is because when I was rapping, I was also known as Mark Marvel. So coming from Staten Island, New York, we have Ghostface Killer, who's known as Tony Starks, Method Man, who's known as Johnny Blaze, and me. I chose to, in homage to the forefathers of Staten Island, of Shaolin, home of the Wu-Tang Clan, I chose to become Mark Marvel. I could have been the Asian Charles Xavier, but I said, nah. I don't want to have to teach all the time. I'm gonna be Mark Marvel.
Yeah, you don't want to be taking care of kids all day.
Hey, but Mr. Chuck Xavier was bagging all the sexy mutant students. Yeah, Storm,
That's true.
Jean
That's
Grey,
true. They got
Psylocke.
around. They got around. I know. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, people really like that. Yeah.
so those are the 2 reasons. One was because I wanted to kind of stray away from Marvel if I wasn't gonna be sponsored by them. I didn't want to keep promoting a company that's not paying me. That's where this double M comes from, Mark Marvel, on the logo. Nobody ever asked me like, why don't you rock a big ass B on your chest? And I'm like,
no, that one looks cool because the way that you did it looks tribal, and I like that. That's nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks almost like a tattoo that you would have on your, your shoulder or something. Right?
It's something that you could wear over the eyes. It's actually a tribal. It originates with a tribal marking. Like if you pay attention to the beginning of the book, you'll see a high priestess of Lapu Lapu, almost like amplifying Lapu Lapu's ability and confidence empowering his spirit, and you see like her tattoos illuminate
Yes.
over her eyes, and she's the matriarch, you know. So I do this play on M's, you know. The Philippines also, before becoming colonized, what was also known as Maharlika. Maharlika is it's almost like, it was like almost like a noble class. So it was known for that because of its for that class of warriors of that of the land. Also known as Ophir. It was the land of gold that the Greeks used to write about. It was even written in the Bible, the land of Ophir, Ophir, because the Philippines is King Philip. We're no longer property of King Philip. We have our independence. So if we were to look for our original name, we would find it in Maharlika or Ophir. But nobody wants to go through that conversation, you know.
Now, during the conquistadors, during their colonization, first thing I think of when I think of their colonization, I think of the Mayans and those guys down there in the South America.
True story.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a pretty devastating for that particular group of people in South America. How devastating was it for Philippines? And
they nearly erased our culture. They almost replaced our language. Everything in the Philippines at that time, unlike the Europeans, we weren't recording our culture. It's not like we were engraving it like the Egyptians, like into temple walls and things of that nature. Like it was more word of mouth and just a way of life, you know. A lot of the things would just pass away with generation to generation. So as we were intermingling, with the Spanish, we were taking their last names. We were taking their language. We were taking their God, their religion. So once you start changing all of these parts, the spirit, the language, the names, once you change these elements of a society, it's almost gone.
Yeah. You're taking away their soul when you're taking their names away. So
right. I mean, just to reflect it onto something relevant to today, it's like all the Palestinian villages were renamed with Hebrew names. They took Hebrew names. So it's all about who's ruling the land. You know what I'm saying? They changed the names. But that goes back all the way to biblical times. Palestine was the Philistines, the same Israel that was fighting the Philistines, David and Goliath, except that the roles are reversed now. Now the Goliath is the military superpower versus, an unstable state.
Yeah. It's that's a really tragedy down there too.
Yeah, we're living in.
Talk about kind of genocide kind of stuff. I mean, like when Mayan disappeared. I mean, Mayan just disappeared. At least the Philippines, you're telling a story now. So, but
I have a lot of Puerto Rican friends, and Puerto Rico, one of Puerto Rico's longest records, is the longest nation that's been colonized. They've been colonized for the longest time by the Spanish. And a lot of that is because the Taino tribes were more submissive, I guess. I don't want to say that like in totality, but they were more willing. They were more of a peaceful tribe. So they were more willing to coexist with the Spanish when they arrived. I'm sure they fought, but, there's only
I meant Aztec. I'm sorry. I meant Aztec. Eman.
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, no matter what, the tragedy happened back in those days. Those the colonial days, I guess you call it.
Oh yeah, there's all throughout history. There's been some horrific stuff.
All in the name of the globe, huh?
Well, all in the name of a couple things, but it's been just awful stuff throughout history that has happened, and it's a shame. But I like that you're paying tribute to your cousin and your culture and all that stuff. And it was really cool to see inside the book too how it was going from like the 1500s to present time to like even in the future. And I like to see how the story was evolving. And I thought that was really, really neat. So that's something like you can continuously keep playing upon, because like that's never ending, because you can just go at any time and, you know, write a story about it.
I mean, we learned through MCU, time is not linear, right?
Yeah. Goes up and down. Yeah, goes all
Yeah.
directions. So Timothy actually had a really good question when you were talking about your cousin and his passing, and the drugs that he was going through. Do you wish you could have acted differently if you had a second chance to, if you may ask?
I feel like I did what was meant to happen, you know? Like, I feel like I was meant to learn from a lack of compassion. I felt like I was meant to learn. It was meant for me to learn, because I even brought him to church.
Yeah.
I introduced him to my pastor, and he was like nodding off, falling asleep during the Bible study. And I was like, damn, bro, you doing that in a Bible study right now? And like, it was really tough. I remember before he died, he used to sleep in the basement. So I would pass by and I'm like, yo, Marlon, what's up, man? And he's just like, yo, bro, I haven't slept for 3 days. I'm like, 3 days? I'm like, that's crazy, bro. Go to sleep. And like he would just be like, yeah, I'm trying, man. And like, you know, whatever happened. It was really tough. It was really tough. I even went hunting down for the dude that sold him his last, whoever sold it to him. I was running through his phone. I hunted that dude down. And when I found him, I kind of like set up the conversation to see how everything worked out. And like, I felt like that vigilante nobility kick in, where I was like, yo, I could break this kid's face, or I could just tell him the news and let his conscience do the beating, And I chose to let his conscience do the beating. I knew I could have totally tore him apart, but I just chose to let God do the work, Sometimes God does a worse kind of punishment than, a physical altercation can do.
So are you a Christian or Catholic or?
I was born Catholic. I got baptized a second time, voluntarily upon my own decision by the Holy Spirit, and to become Christian. And then I decolonized. So it was like a crazy like dynamic of like, I'm in love with God, and then I'm like, oh wait, but this is what they use God for? And I started decolonizing, and I started acknowledging my ancestors so much more. Like I started acknowledging what was lost and looking to find it for anyone else that may not know that they wanted to find it. There's a term in Filipino belief and culture called kapwa. And kapwa is a form of humanism. It's basically like, I would treat K-pop properly because me helping her is her helping me. Like there's always like an inversal action in all the good that we do or the bad that we do in the universe. So this term of kapwa, like if there was no religion, it would be a religion, just from your own belief of how you treat others.
Yeah, I strongly believe, because I also went through the Catholic school thing and then some other stuff, but I believe that you really kind of need to find what works for you in your beliefs, and it's a journey along your way. You're not gonna just like find one thing. You might go through a whole bunch of stuff, and when you see somebody going through like drug or alcohol addiction, it's gut wrenching. It's probably one of the hardest things that you could possibly see someone go through, because they're essentially just completely just losing yourself in front of them. And most of the time, you can't convince that person to go get help, go seek whatever, because they are so lost with how far they are deep into whatever it is they're into. And it is really, really hard to see somebody go through that. So I commend you a lot too for going through the situation that you did and turning into something positive. So I think that's fascinating that you've turned this book into something that his children can come back and read, and really see his legacy as something more than the negative stuff that he was in through.
Yeah.
And,
I heard you mention Bible a couple of times already, and some spiritual message in there. But you think I'm assuming you have read Bible, well versed in Bible. Normally, good writers they tend to read even religious texts. But you incorporated any of the messages in the Bible or the like your what was it
Capua.
Capua? Is it? I mean, is there like a written text about that or?
So Capua is more like of a concept,
Mhm.
a concept of humanism, like how you treat other humans, you know, and how you integrate with them in ways where, you know, it becomes community. There's another term in Filipino culture called Bayani, which is it's basically the whole village acting upon one member's need. There's like there's like a very popular Instagram video where a Filipino hut, they call it a kubo. A Filipino hut is carried on these two sticks on two ends, and you see like 40 guys on one end and 40 guys on another. They all lift it up and they start running together to move the house, and that's called Bayanihan. And it's just a beautiful thing because it's like it's something that's tangible, you know, and it's visual now for people that may not like heed a culture like the Philippines, because the Philippines can be so out of the way, you know. It's like what is the Philippines? I was in San Diego Comic-Con and I joked and I was like, yo, I remember when I was in school that people called me like they thought I was the Philippians in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, are you like Philippians? I was like, no, bro, what are you talking about? I'm Filipino. And they're just like, what is that? Felipe? And I'm like, what? Oh. Yeah, they just had mad jokes on me as a kid.
I want to say some of the comments that we have in chat. So we have a couple people that are saying some really lovely things. First of all, Aaron here was saying he lost his little sis from fentanyl.
Wow.
And I like seeing people talk about the drug addiction better than acting like it doesn't exist. It's definitely a hard subject to tackle, but it's important. I definitely also agree with that because you can't just put history, you can't just put all this stuff aside and make things look like they're lovely every day. You have to deal with the tough stuff sometimes so that people can get help and stuff that they need. And not talking about it is not the right way to do it. So you really need to talk about these things and put it out there so that people might even see somebody else going through this and then see something that you're talking about now and want to go get help. So I think it's truly important for these kind of things to be talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like as a creative, my power is to empower. It's to activate, you know, and conjure the courage and motivation to use, you know, your experience and alchemize that in a way where it could impact others. You know, like once we stop living for ourselves, we really start living life. You know, it becomes more than just waking up, because if you're not happy with your life, you kind of don't even want to live your own. But if you live your life, like I learned that as a parent, like I learned that as a father, like to a son and now to a daughter, which changed my whole view of how, you know, I interact with like women or how I treat them or how I look at her mother. Like, you know, it changes things, you know, when you become responsible for other people in your life. You know, whether it's your parents, you're taking care of your parents. It's not only kids, right? We're at that age right now. You guys look like you're in your 30s, 40s, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
But look,
much.
we're the generation. The work that you guys are doing is super important. You may think that this is a hobby, but this shit is work. This is the brownstone steps in Brooklyn where the OGs would tell younger people what they need to get realigned and recalibrated. There's no more steps outside. The kids don't go outside these days. Now they listen to podcasts. They listen to what you guys are joking about. You know, you're bringing light to their days, and you're bringing them hard lessons. You know, because we're the adults, we're the OGs that are now talking to on a global forum. This episode could reach somebody in Finland, you know, like, or Brazil, you know.
It could, because I can tell you right now, we have people from Canada, we have people from Australia, I have people from the UK, and I have people from Italy, and a bunch of other people watching all the time. So it's amazing where you think your tiny little world is when you're online, but the reach is immense. It's amazing how that works, and
yeah,
I think that's lovely. And,
podcast is the new New York
it
steps.
is. It's the way to
New
go.
York
And
steps.
Brandon says he's sorry for your loss. It's really great to memorialize him for his son. Also, so there is peace that you can get from it in your writing. Yeah.
True story. You hit it on the head.
And Tate, everyone's in the chat's getting all emotional and stuff. But thank you so much for sharing this story. It's brought up a lot of emotion for me, but it has made me think of those I lost way too soon. Yeah. Yeah. There's something about that too. Like, those that have lost a lot of people in their lifetime, that is so hard to deal with, even just losing a pet. But if you're out there and you're with somebody talking about it, that's just healing and moving, being able to not get really closure or move on, but, you know, remembering those that you have lost. And that's just so hard to do. Some people never, ever recover from loss, but talking to people that have experienced similar things is super, super healing in a way, because that's a lot of how I got over my anxiety as well. I had wicked bad anxiety, and talking to people that were going through the same thing, that helped me tremendously.
I think writing is a huge therapy. It's a great outlet because it's almost like the part of you don't want to see in the mirror, you could see on the page when you write those thoughts out. Like, you could look in the mirror and not appreciate certain things about yourself, but then you could go to a page, right? And you could write the greatest things that you realize about you, like that you love about yourself, versus what you see in the mirror. Like, writing is like the ultimate form of alchemy, I believe. You know, it's almost a lost form. It's almost a lost form. Nobody writes no more. No one puts a pen to the paper no more. You know?
Yeah, that's it. And even just the way that you're speaking is very, very poetic. Just the way that it flows. So you got that natural, like, musician and writer in you, just the way that you're flowing with the way that you're speaking. It's very lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Michael is saying the same thing.
Certainly has touched the our chat room in a
oh yeah,
way.
people are sharing their stories right now. So Michael is also saying, as someone who has suffered loss and uses art writing to heal, get closure, pay tribute, it's always beautiful to hear another doing or having done the same. For sure. That's the cool thing about art, about music, and about in writing, is it's a great way to, one, just vent and let out those emotions, but that's also a way just to connect and get out there and, you know, get creative with it. And that's fascinating to me, how people can take something like that and just make it something even more. Let's see, let me hide this. So Timothy is also a comic book artist. He said the first issue of his book was drawn from somebody in the Philippines. Sherwin, way to go, Sherwin. And I've read your book. It's really cool.
Sherwin Kaya Sains. That's dope, too. I was just watching footage of Will Portatio. You guys familiar with him?
Yes.
Creator of Bishop, a Filipino artist. He was part of the first generation of Image Comics with Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Mark D. Silvestri, Jim Lee. How could I not put him up there?
Yeah.
Eric Larson, Savage Dragon. So Will Portatio created Wetworks. He also created Bishop from X-Men. And Stan Lee was interviewing him. And Stan Lee was like, we hired like a bunch of guys from the Philippines. We get a lot of guys from the Philippines. What's up with that? And it's like crazy, right? Because it's like, what is up with that? Like, why are so many artists in the Philippines? Like, I swear to God, I've hired at least 14 artists in my 7-year run doing the realest Bayani comic book series. And you know, largely because I want to support the community. It's called Kabayan. Well, basically, like, we'll work with each other because we're pushing the culture. Um, so with the Kabayan spirit, like, the quality of the art is pushed, the love is put into the artwork, and we're pushing the culture forward. You know, so it's just a beautiful thing. Like, being Filipino, I've never realized how cool I was until I was like in my 30s. Sucks, but hey,
I didn't realize that until I hit my 40s. So, you know, you found it younger than I did. So,
Hey, some butterflies stay in the cocoon for a long, long time.
hey, you're just getting started. You're still young, Dom. Let's go. Let's go. You're gonna get your comic book out there by the end of the year. Let's go. And I'm gonna kick your butt into shape. We're gonna do it. But no, I love Will's. His run on Whatworks is some of my all-time favorite artwork in that series.
Out to him too.
So
I think
good.
we called out to him too. So we
Yeah.
tried to talk to him too. So.
Nah, don't worry. Don't
you
worry.
guys tried to get him on the show?
Yeah, we tried to. I mean,
Don't worry, it'll happen.
I'm about to send them an email. I'm about to
Yeah.
be, yo, Kuya Wills, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we'll be getting him on here.
Thank
You worry.
you, man.
Yeah. And again, words are magic. It can take us to the lowest possible point, but we're always but can also elevate us to heights we've never dreamed possible. That's so true. Yeah. Yes. I know Norin and Matt's not in here too, but we're massive fans of the 90s image, but also just Whatworks alone.
That's fire.
That's the one thing that I can't wait, because I pick up anytime they have like Cyberforce and all the other ones, I get the Omnis. I want them to do a Wetworks Omni so bad. That would be so amazing. Yes, don't worry. I have contacts for him. Don't worry. We'll
Gotcha.
We'll get it.
That's
We'll get it.
that's the Tito right there. So you know,
Yeah.
in San Diego Comic Con, we had a Hollow panel, and I was late. Right, I was mad late. I parked in the wrong parking lot. I forgot my pass to get through the door.
No.
I walked all the way out. I was like, damn, I'm walking the fastest I could, sweating my ass off because I'm in San Diego. So I'm just like, and I'm wearing long pants. What am I doing wearing long pants? Right? So I'm rushing back to the hotel. For some reason, they had it all the way on the side. So I get to the panel, and Will Sportsatio has an empty seat right next to him. I'm like, yo, is that my seat? I'm sitting next to Will's. I was like, yo, this is crazy. It was like sitting next to the Filipino, like Larry Bird or some shit. Like, he's a legend, this guy. You know, so when I sat next to him and he's telling stories about how he threw a Filipino flag on the back of Colossus's jacket upside down and like the wrong way, he was like, I was waiting for you guys to know this. And I'm like, this guy's just cool. Like, you know?
Oh, he seems so down to earth and awesome. A couple of my friends, they belong to the Ryan Benjamin is their art mentor. So they'll do a lot of classes and stuff with Wills.
Oh,
and
wow.
So they'll all go to Japan to do the Comic Cons with all of them together when they go do all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And I know that Timothy, I remember, yes, I'm saying the art in your book is awesome. I remember I liked the Melvins when I read it. Yeah.
He got like Timothy Drake's first name and he got Jimmy Olsen's last name.
Bishop is 1.5 Filipino. Yes. Ooh, yeah. He's on your Mount Rushmore. Yeah, definitely.
And he's still drawing.
Dude, he's still doing amazing. And plus, he has some amazing hair. He might rival Eman with hair.
He got the lapu hair.
I know Eman is my hair nemesis, but I think Wills. Yeah, we fight with us all the time. But I think Wills might have to outtake him in hair. I mean, hey, just
straight up.
Eman.
Fun Snapple fact: the receding hairline for Filipinos came from the Spaniards. Thanks,
yeah, so Brandon is also a writer. We got a lot of writers in the chat right now. So Brandon is also a writer. So spot on. Writing definitely is one of the ultimate forms of therapy, either in getting what's been cooped up deep in your head out, invisible for you, or a brief escapism. Yes.
Yo, exactly. Shout out all my writers, bro. Everybody be always highlighting the artist, like, yo, it's my favorite artist. And I'm like, well, your artist wouldn't be drawing a great story if it wasn't for me, bro. Hello. X-Men wouldn't be what it is today without Jonathan Hickman. You know what I'm saying?
We got you. We got you.
Stupid Spaniards.
Okay, I'll change your title back to writer. I'll change your title back to writer now. I didn't know you was going to give me this hard time writing the show, but okay, I got you.
You might even just have to change it to Artistimo because he's doing all this stuff. He's just, super artistic. Let's see. Is art much... Okay, this is a good question. Is art a much larger thing in the Philippines, or are comics a huge thing in the Philippines? Genuinely curious, just because I agree. I have seen a ton of comic artists coming from... This is true. There's been a ton of artists coming out of that area over the last, just 20 years. It's like so many of them.
So when I debuted in New York Comic Con, this is to answer This Main Comics. When I debuted in Comic Con, New York Comic Con specifically, there was no Filipino comic books. Not one.
Oh, wow.
So 2019, Netflix drops Trece. Are you guys familiar with Trece?
Yes.
Shout out Bujet Tan and Kajo Baldacimo. Those guys kicked in the doors in Netflix for Filipino folklore and Filipino stories told by Filipinos. I think right now, and I'll tell you what it is, right? In 1995, a guy named Arnold Are wrote a book called Mythology Class. Mythology Class was created in 1995. The same elements in Mythology Class can be found in Trece, which was created around 2015, I believe. So it's not in just respect to another writer, but it's in respect to the folklore. So people see, I believe that the ancestors of every single person alive is reaching out to them, whether you're from Ireland, because Ireland is heavy pro-Palestine. You have to wonder why, because they fought for their own, republic as well, and they know the turmoil. Whether you're Filipino, Palestinian, from the Congo, you're Black American, no matter what, your ancestors are calling to you. Your grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-great-great-great-great, the ones that you never heard of, the ones you never heard a story about, they're calling for you to tell their stories, to tell your stories, to find out what your stories are. So it's up to you to GPS your soul and look for that treasure that's hidden inside that you have to tell your future son or daughter, because it's going to be lost if you don't search for it now. And I believe that the Filipinos are not just artists, but the stories have to be told. And that's why there's a huge surge of creators coming from everywhere, from Asian, Latino, Africans, from, Europeans as well. There's so much to be told, I mean, I feel like that's what it is. It's ancestry. And I believe that our blood calls to us, and it's up to us to answer that. We have to stop searching outside of us and search within, and that's where the true treasure is.
There's been just some amazing books out of the last 2 years that have to do with different cultures, worldwide. I found so many just New Orleans, African, even in Trinidad and Barbados, so many guys, and that's awesome. I love seeing that. I love seeing the different cultures and lores around, because
let's not forget about Native Americans either.
Oh no, there's been some really good ones coming up the last couple of months. Have you read any of those? There's been some amazing ones. Ooh, yeah.
I mean, just alone in the What If series, right?
Yeah.
I believe her name was Kalari or Kaori. She popped up, and I was, when you're a creator, you're like, oh man, they took my indigenous illuminated tattoo stuff. Damn, Marvel. And it's like, damn, Marvel dropped it before me. But I feel like when you dive into the indigenous culture of being American, you find so much about yourself, about our about our parents and why they ended up here. It's not just opportunity, but it was for us. You know, it was for us to meet in this room right here, for the chat room to tap in and be like, word, I need to look within myself today, you know?
Yeah, it also kind of really puts your family history in perspective too, on the opposite side of that too. Because if you do have family research and you look back and you see you had some horrific things happen on your side of the family that they were doing, it puts it in perspective of how you want to be a better person today.
Right. Or how you could heal that.
Yeah.
How you could break generational cycles.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. Ooh, okay. Timothy's got a good question. Do you think when Marvel and DC do it is disingenuous, like when they want to appease you just to get money?
So, you know, you guys want to answer first?
Yeah, I'll take this.
Okay.
You know what? If it is disingenuous and if it is because of money, but somehow, let's say my ancestors and my culture got represented because of that storytelling, I'm not going to look at the gift horse in the mouth, you know. Now, it would be better if it was told by people with a genuine heart and, you know, be more, you know. But it's really hard to tell a story and let everybody hear it when your story, you know, doesn't make money for people, right? So, yeah, I mean, telling independent story like this and having pure hearted, yeah, I want to create a story without having to worry about, you know, supporting my family and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but yeah, I would like to be more generous, but I wouldn't mind it if that's what it takes.
But you know how like I was just talking about Kaori in the What If cartoon series of Marvel. They pop her out. She's a brand new character. But they have so many Native American characters, from Moonstar from the New Mutants to Warpath from the X-Force, Puma, who was one of Spider-Man's villains, Shaman from the Alpha Flight. They have a lot of Native American characters. Forge from X-Men.
Yeah, Red Wolf. Yeah.
Red Wolf, right? There's so many Native American characters, voices, that it's time. Like, it's time to replace Captain America with somebody from that is who were the true natives of this land. Like, being a New Yorker, I had to learn I live on Lenape land, you know? And I learned that from people, from other Filipinos that are decolonized, you know, that in California, I forgot what they called the Californian land. Are you guys from California, by the way?
I'm from if I'm from anywhere in the United States, I'm from Oklahoma.
Oh, he's Oklahoma, Seattle, DC. You pick a place he's been through. I'm also was Metro Detroit area, and then also Baltimore area. So for a long time,
okay.
So kind of all over the place.
But you guys know the name of that land? Like, what tribe lurked that land at the time?
Yes. So Michigan is heavily affected by Native communities. Most of our streets, most of our areas, yeah, there's been massive battles that we've learned throughout history in our town about what actually happened in there. But it's rich deep in the Native lands. Most people, if you didn't go and read about some stuff, they might not know it. But yeah, there's a lot of the history around here because we have a ton just in this area.
Oklahoma is a Indian. I think it's Cherokee.
Interesting.
So it means red dirt. Oklahoma has a lot of red dirt in their state. So it's Oklahoma.
Nah, man. Okay, nah. Okay.
And,
red soil.
Yeah, and also one of the Oklahoma thing is what Oklahoma is famous for is land run. Are you guys familiar with the land run?
Land run?
Land run. basically government say, hey, you could have a land in this territory. It's at the time was an Indian territory. You could have these lands. All you have to do is mark on four corners, and that becomes your land. And at this time, you start. And there's a state school called Oklahoma University. I'm sure everybody knows they're a really good football team. So everybody knows who Oklahoma University is, or Oklahoma Sooners. And they have this song, their school song called Sooner Boomers, Sooner Boomers, Sooner Boomers, Sooner Boomers. So what that means is, so there's they made this land run, and they said, this specific time we're going to have a land run. Take your horses and just run and mark your four corners, and that's your land, right? Yeah. Well, Sooners are the guys who took off before they shot the start button. The Boomer guys are even more creative, and they camped out inside the land that they want to mark in the trees and hide themselves before they started it. And so that's how they took over this Indian land. They just everybody put their four corner marks on there, and they become their land. And there's what they call Trail of Tears in Oklahoma, where these Indians had to move out of their land because people put barbed wires and things like that to prevent.
And we're witnessing that shit right now. We're witnessing
buffalo grooming and all that stuff. So So Oklahoma. I mean, I call myself Korean-oki, Korean-oki. But I feel like my Indian ancestors are calling on me to tell this particular stories.
Yo, fun fact, the realest Bayani has the first Native American president.
Ooh.
Read the realest Bayani today.
We've been dropping links, so you're getting ready to actually put the newer version on there where it's cut up into smaller issues.
Yeah, I'm more focused right now on promoting the Bayani comics tape.
Yeah.
Which is like the recent album that I dropped.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me get to that because I gotta go back over here for a second. But I'll drop that link in a second. Because I have your link tree open as well. Let me find that real quick. But so, what's up, dude? What's happening? How you guys doing? So Timothy is saying that he disagrees with replacing Cap or other legacy characters. I don't really necessarily think you need to replace or swap any of those characters, but you could focus on a new character or even an older character and then just make them the focal point. You know, that makes sense. I like that kind of thing. But
yeah, I agree. I agree with that too, K-pop. I agree. I feel like Falcon, Winter Soldier series, very interesting. I like the fact that Falcon don't want the shield. I like the fact that Winter Soldier don't want the shield because none of them can ever match Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
He's too noble. His level of nobility is next level, you know?
For sure. Because, see, some of my favorite characters are always like the smaller characters or like the side characters. I don't necessarily go for the large characters. I like the villains. K-pop? Who's what?
Top 3 Marvel. Who's your top 3?
Top 3 Marvel? Ooh, okay. This could be weird, but Spider-Man was always my main guy in Marvel. But I like Black Cat a lot, and I like Howard the Duck.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my favorite comic of all time, and I pulled this off when I was little, is Marvel Team Up 96, which is Spider-Man and Howard the Duck. It sent me down a whole massive bunch of stuff. But I adore the smaller little characters, and I love it because my favorite thing is finding like the little miniseries that have to do with those little characters than the main characters, because I was more focused on like the side guys, and I wanted to know more about them. So whenever I would find a small little miniseries that had to do with that character, I got hooked on those characters because I loved them and enjoyed them more because they weren't the mainstream guys. I like the little dudes.
Right. Yeah. Nam, top 3. Who's your top 3?
My top 3 is
Marvel.
Spider-Man, because he's a book one. I'm a comic book one.
Which Spidey though? Let's be specific. Which Spidey?
Ooh.
The very original one. The original one.
Okay.
That is a book. He's a book one. He's a nerdy dude. He was never in. He's just
The
outcast.
Tobey Maguire. The Tobey Maguire.
The
Oh,
Tobey
the movies.
Maguire.
Movies. Yeah, Tobey Maguire is it though.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, he's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two.
And,
Number two.
Number two is not the Iron Man is because Iron Man is only one that could actually be a person that I could be.
Oh, okay.
Because Spider-Man, I don't want to get bitten by Spider-Man. I don't know what's going to happen to me with the bitten by radioactive spider. I could turn something villainous. Who knows, right? So,
COVID 36.
so as far as Iron Man is concerned, hey, I could engineer Iron Man suit someday, right? So
that's
I could be
right.
So Iron Man, then and if you're going to totally go wacko on it, then the Adam Warlock is because I just love how he's
Okay.
Yeah.
Now.
I just like how he's universal and all, it defies godly things. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's three. That's top.
Okay,
three.
you got it. He had the
But
Donald.
it's not- Huh?
Adam Warlock had the Donald Trump tan.
Oh no! You make me not like it.
I gotta change your character. No. We're gonna throw in Cable. Ooh, Timothy's gonna throw in some Cable.
Right.
Wolverine, Deadpool, Punisher, Cable. We got
Yeah,
Hulk, Thor, Wolverine. Nice. See, I was always big team.
Wait a second, Ray. Aaron, how can you not forget Silver Surfer? How can you forget Silver Surfer?
You didn't even pick Silver Surfer.
Aaron.
Okay, all right. You can't. It's hard to pick just three for Marvel. It's hard because they have such a huge
universe
library.
I say Magneto because of the 97 series right now. Like,
the 96, 97. I remember pulling those annuals off the shelf, and I loved those because they had the flipped thing going over the front back cover, and it had all the little characters on it. I was big into that.
Yeah. You're talking about the Jim Lee #1s.
No. So back in the day, they would have annuals. They had an X-Men 96 and an X-Men 97 annual issue for the year. And if you open it, it had a front black space splash page for front and back cover. Had like every character that was in for that whole year. And I like those. They're weird. Yeah. Oh, 80s and 90s. Okay. Lots of Wolverines. Yeah. Wave. Yeah, see, I like the weird small characters. And then I got even more into all the weird characters and the villains again when Maximum Carnage shut out. So I was super big into Scream and those like doppelgangers and like all the little random little characters.
Yeah.
I loved all that. Yeah.
What was your second and third?
Whose?
Huh?
What?
Bayani.
Oh, who are your characters?
I think I said it. No,
you said first character. That's it. That's all I heard.
Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Magneto.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
the third one is Silver Surfer. Okay.
I always felt like Silver Surfer could probably lift up Thor's hammer.
Really?
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
I always felt like that because like every time he pulled up to a planet, Silver Surfer would be like, "Nah, chill, Galactus, chill." Like, I know you got munchies and all that shit, but we gotta go to a whole nother galaxy. Let's go to Earth fucking 17 fucking what the hell.
I think, I gotta agree with that. I mean, he already sacrificed himself for the whole freaking planet, right?
Right, to be Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But when people cosplay as Silver Surfer, I'll be like, damn, I'm not. This guy is wilding right now. He has like no underwears. What's going on with Silver Surfer right now?
Dude, he has nothing. He's just.
I can't wait to see Fantastic Four. I can't wait to see Fantastic Four and this female version of the Herald. I feel like it's Nova Are you guys familiar with Galactus's heralds?
No, well, I think she's one of those. She's one of those earlier heroes.
Yeah,
So,
she's one of the early heralds.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why I'm
I
thinking
mean,
Silver Surfer. They
I
might
have
have
no
shown.
problem with. I have no. Some people say, "Oh, you can't replace Silver Surfer with the female." I'm like, no. That's she's a different character entirely. She's
This
just
guy kept
heroine.
asking about a Baja Breeze Blast. Nah, this was a blue Hawaiian, my guy.
A blue
Straight-
Hawaiian.
Straight from the
Nice.
Chino spot in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. You see this? This is the Chino. This is the Chinese large container.
Yeah, it comes in the wonton soup container.
The large wonton.
Yeah.
That's when my eyes turned fucking turned Taiwanese.
Okay.
You guys don't have the eye problem that we, us Asian, this part of the Asians.
Yeah, nah, we don't. That's why we get mistaken for Mexican. So I always felt like Magellan lost like the first fight with Lapu Lapu. Like he died. Like literally got his blood written in the sand of the beaches in the Philippines. He had his first and last vacation in the Philippines. And I feel like the Spaniards was like, yo, there's like 1,000 Manny Pacquiao's waiting on the beach. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to fight Manny Pacquiao right now. So they went to Mexico and got a few second generation Aztecs and said, yo, we riding out with y'all to the Philippines. And this is when Manny Pacquiao became the Mexican killer, is what they called him in boxing. Because he had to fight a lot of Mexicans to get to where he was at. Mexicans are the hardest fighters in boxing. They are hard to fight, man. Not only could they fight, but they have like extra like HP. Like, you know,
Extra HP.
they have extra hit points that people don't know about. But I always felt, and I wrote it into the story, there's like a 10 years later after Magellan, where I wrote like there's a guy named I forget, there was a secondary captain to Magellan, and I wrote that he came back with Aztec warriors to the Philippines to fight in the jungle. You ever saw Apocalypto?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Directed by them motherfuckers can fight in the jungle.
Dude, my favorite scene was it in the rundown where Rock and then Ernie Reyes Jr. comes out. He's all swinging on the vines, kicking some ass and stuff. That's the best part. I'm like, yes. So I can picture that happening in the jungle.
But imagine a bunch of E-mans that could fight like Conan mixed with Manny Pacquiao.
So I'm gonna say bullshit on that one because he's gonna be fighting and swinging and then just doing every 4 seconds. So he's gonna be taken down super fast. So
I can't believe it's not butter.
Oh, what is that? Is that a spear coming my way? Yeah, no, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Herbal essence.
Yeah. Yeah.
K-pop is stealing Eman's move here.
What? Oh, I'm making fun of it. Yeah.
Imagine if E-Man was Bishop.
He'll just be sitting up there holding guns in the wind, just like it would just be like, whoo. Yeah, I know.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude, him and that one Japanese kid that's out right now. Holy hell, I can't remember this kid's name, but that kid is a beast. He's this little tiny guy. That kid is a
Japanese boxer.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't remember his name right now, but that kid's just gnarly. Yeah.
That's wavy.
But yeah, so
where that blue Hawaiian smacked me.
The Hawaiian Baja Blast Freeze. Yeah. Oh man, I know. I'm almost done with my monster, and I'm like, oh.
You guys got any more questions?
We do. Let's see. Hold on.
What are you going to? You hit the pawn circuits often, or how do you promote your books, and how do you get it all sold out like this? And you know,
I usually sell out like according to events. Like I usually try to land on events. Um, we recently sold out because we were at a Brooklyn con at St. Mark's Comics. Um, we sold out there. So we're restocking for. Well, first of all, I'm gonna be at San Diego Comic Con in July.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a panel called CSIG and Comics. CSIG is like a fried grilled chicken, kind of.
Okay.
And fried. I don't know what is it with Filipinos. I was just on the Halo Halo panel, which is a Filipino dessert. Now I'm
Yeah.
on the CSIG panel, but it's all about comics and education. So
Okay.
I
using
actually
food.
I actually taught like first to eighth grade in Staten Island, New York, how to create like their own characters in comic books.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I had about like 95 students and only like 57 of them did their homework.
Mm. Well, that's a
Half.
good percentage.
That's
That's
a
a
good
good percentage, man.
in New York public schools.
50%. That's a good percentage. I'm telling you.
You can't make it. Dang it! I was gonna say if anyone's gonna be on that panel with you, it'd be Eman and talking food and comics. That's yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Word.
let's see. So what other cons you get to? Do you go out to like states out of state mostly, or you just like yeah?
So I only did San Diego Comic Con
Okay.
and usually everything in New York or mostly in New York. Because I'm New York based.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of people over in New York that hit up all the
So you
cons.
had two biggest cons, the New York con and the San Diego
New York
con.
Comic, yeah, exactly, coast to coast.
Yeah.
You know,
That's cool.
and representing Filipinos too. That's the best part about it. Like I remember praying to God like one time, and I was just like, God, like I really want to connect with Filipinos. Like I want to represent them, and it was through hip hop. It was really hard at the time
Yeah, we
because
need
New
to talk more
Yorkers,
about your hip hop stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because doing hip hop in New York as a Filipino, there isn't a large demographic out here for Filipinos versus California. California is Filipino. You know what I'm saying? It's like a secondary, Asian based thing. You get a lot of guys from Laos, Vietnamese, Koreans, um, Filipinos, especially. So when I went to California, I said this in the Halo Halo panel. I had a Filipino overload. I didn't even know where to start promoting. Like I felt like right, left. Oh my god, yo! And it's just like sometimes Filipinos don't care about being Filipinos either. You know what I'm saying? It's it's like yo, it's like you don't see Puerto Rican people or black people going, yo, you're black like me. Like you want to like read my comic book? Like they don't do that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But for Filipinos, it's like, oi, oi. And they'll turn around too. They'll be like, huh? And they'll be like, oh, nah, chill. I'm good. You know? But being in California, like I realized there's a huge demographic out there for me. From the Bay Area to Los Angeles to San Diego. So many people that are searching for people that are speaking about their culture and representing them in different demographics. So I'm just happy to be part of that representation, honestly. From
Yeah.
hip-
Just in this month alone, we've had a lot of our guests were Filipino.
Mm.
So you'll probably connect with a lot of them on the 31st if you pop in. But
Yeah, so you had Don Aguilo. He was one of my cover artists.
Don's
okay.
awesome.
Yeah,
Don's
Don's,
great.
Don's official. I love his covers.
Oh, he's so good. And then there's a couple cons around like the whole states that have to do with like there's Asian invasion and a couple other ones. We have some here that are like Black creator owned only and stuff. So I think you might really do really well if you want to get in touch with some other Asian artists at the
Yeah, tap in with me for that K-pop.
Sure. You've also lived in Guam, haven't you? Awesome. Because I was also on and off the base with my ex because we were in Fort Meade, and the Filipino community there was massive.
Oh
So a
shit.
lot of my so I had a lot of Filipino friends, and one of my really good friends, he is Mexican, but he was in the military. And he met his wife in the Philippines, so they came back here. So they have a lot of mixed kids. So they have the Filipino and the Mexican kids. He calls them Filipinos, but I know. No, they're some of my favorite people. It's hard to get your books noticed in the Philippines. Well, Timothy,
Are you
if you want
marketing?
pointers on that, we have some connections now.
Is Timothy writing for the Philippine audience?
Well, he does have his artist and his colorist. He said he used from the Philippines, but branch out of it. Have you ever thought about doing that?
Filipinos for them to really tap in.
Have you ever
Like,
thought about doing cons over there?
yeah. There's a con called Comiket.
Okay.
Comiket is a pretty big Comic Con. I just haven't found my way out there because it's like there's so much entailed with visiting the Philippines. There's like I want to do like not tourist type shit, but I want to visit like I want to visit the hood, like the hood, like the Compton of the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's called Tondo, Manila. That's where Bayani is based, and I feel like I can only go through there with a certain type of liaison. Like I have to have a certain dude with me because it's like walking through the worst parts of Brooklyn without having somebody that people know. Especially being American, they look at your feet. If you don't got chanelas on, like chancletas, they know you straight from the States. You know what I'm saying? And there's a ransom for that ass. But but nah, like seriously, like there's like I would really love to visit the Philippines. For one, it's the comic book is based out there. Two, there's people that I would love to connect with that are in the comic book. That I promoted in the comic book as characters. In the beginning of creating the realist Bayani, I was incorporating real life people into the comic book and making characters out of them. Just in tribute to our friendship that we had. So it's just like a time for me to have that reunion with them, to see what channels we could tap into with Filipino Hollywood, because my next goal is having Bayani become either an anime like Trece or a live action. I mean, really, I want the live action because I feel like I want to bring sexy back for Filipinos. I feel
You
like
gotta bring the sexy back, yeah.
Yo, super facts. I mean, K-pop is cool. K-pop is cool, K-pop. But, for Filipinos, like we bring the brown, you know what I'm saying? We bring the brown to Asia. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for Filipinos, we're Afro Latino Asians. And it's such a rich genetic treasure to be Filipino because there's 7,000 islands, and how many people visited these islands? We had princes from India. We had royalty from the Islam. We had Islamic royalty come to the Philippines and rule a certain part of it, a certain region, which is sovereign. Like they're an undefeated army. Not the Spaniards, not the Japanese, not the American Marines could defeat this region of the Philippines. They were the Muslim armies. And I shout them out because they're alienated. You know what I'm saying? They've been vilified by Western media. You know what I'm saying? As Islamic, as an Islamic state. And I'm Christian. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like is a beautiful dynamic because it's like if you could respect the warriorship of a certain part of your culture, it's like you want to have that reciprocity, you know what I'm saying, between the two cultures. Like I want all of the Philippines to know that me being Bayani, like I represent all of the resistance, whether we were against um the colonizer or somebody that oppresses. any oppressor, I'm just against that. You know what I'm saying? Me being Bayani, I have to represent that. You can't be a hero and not fight against the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? You can't be neutral. You know what I'm saying? If it's one thing God doesn't like, it's a lukewarm person. You have to be cold or hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody likes a lukewarm person. You know what I'm saying? You don't want somebody playing both sides of the fence with your enemy and then chilling with you. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody that's like, nah, I fucks with you only, or I don't. You know what I'm saying? That's just the type of person you want in your life. I fucks with you or I don't. You don't want somebody to be like, I fucks with you, but I also fucks with this person that don't fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that straightforward person. Damn, y'all be letting me talk. Thank you.
You are more than welcome to chat and go for it. Yes, you said the artist for your first book was from the Philippines, and you also had a Filipino colorist at one time, and then you switched back. Now they're in, yeah. So yeah, you're going global, but you want pointers because Timothy is heading back to the Philippines in 2026.
Woo! All right, Tim.
Yeah.
Spend them pesos, bro.
You live Timothy is Filipino too? Is Timothy Filipino?
King of the hood takes more than money, baby. You can't buy loyalty.
True. You can buy an island. I know someone that did that in the Philippines. She's a little teeny tiny lady on the Fort Meade base. She owns one of the islands in the Philippines. But yeah, you need more than that. You need to go en bak on some guys. That's the case.
Now, you know what gets you love in the Philippines is not just feeding them, but it's really teaching them how to keep creating money. You know, like creating a business and putting them. I feel like what I need to do is land in the Philippines and find someone I could trust to push the Bayani book out there, so I don't have to pay postage. Postage is ridiculous to deliver from America to the Philippines. If I could find a printer and really tap in and have somebody I trust out there to, you know what I'm saying, create that business relationship, then I could definitely win. But for me to deliver books from America to the Philippines, it just don't make sense. So, you know, my next trip is to really create business relationships. To be king of the hood in the Philippines, though, to be king of the hood in the Philippines is to crown a king in the hood.
Ooh, definitely. But no, that's a great idea. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So he's going to meet his current girlfriend for the first time. Well, I hope you have an amazing time when you go meet your girlfriend in the Philippines. There, Timothy.
Nice. I have no comment for shit like that. I hope it's just real.
Listen, you can truly fall in love overseas. It's happened. Been there.
I believe that too.
Yeah. Hell, my cousin met somebody online in the UK, and they've been married, and they all moved to Arizona 11 years ago. So I mean, it happens.
I mean, hey, people fall in love with the pen pal before, so they're pen pals.
Pen pals, yeah.
They're pen pals.
Yeah. So they don't even know what the other person look like.
All for a visa.
Listen, that's a thing as well. That's a thing as well. My ex was propositioned many times on the base. We tell you. Yeah, go find some love. But no, go for it, Timothy. No, I think it's a really good idea to find a printer over there because I know a lot of people that do the same thing. I know people that found a printer in Greece, London, Italy, South Americas, Australia's. So like they're printing here locally and then they'll send stuff over there to a really good close friend to have print and distribute that way. So it's just a lot easier. Yeah. Ooh. So he met her through the artist for Melbourne #1. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man, somebody playing Cupid for Tim.
Oh, hubba, Tim. Way to go. Oh, nice. Used to play b-ball in a Filipino basketball league. They let anyone play.
What, for FIBA, for PBA?
Well, I hope your team won a ton figure drawing.
All right.
Nah, what you doing over there, bro?
Yeah, what do you got? What do you got going on? What's happening over there, Nam?
Me?
Yeah,
Can
here,
you
wait,
guys
wait.
hear me? Can you
Yes,
guys
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. We can hear you. What's going on, Nam?
What's going
Nam got
on?
the Quicksilver look. He's chilling. He got the Magneto haircut. What up, Nam?
Oh, when he's got his fresh fade, he'll be looking like a super stud. Let me tell you.
Word, Nam, he chilling.
No, man, you guys are like you creators are like inspiring the heck out of me. I've been just bombarded with inspiration throughout this whole month by all you creators, and writers, right, and artists, and I gotta have my own comic book out. My ancestors calling me to
I'm telling you,
tell my
Nam.
story. So you're
Yeah.
here for a reason, Bayani. You're here for a reason.
Yeah,
You're
let me
getting
help
my
you, bro.
ancestors
Let me be your editor.
Oh,
Straight
you hear
up,
that,
I'm
Nam?
an editor for
You
like
hear
3
that?
comic books.
You're gonna be my editor.
There you
Yeah,
go.
why
There you
not?
go.
Run the stories by me.
All right, all right,
Perfect. You got to
all
do
right.
that now.
All right, I'll do that.
And
Not
I
gonna
could
be an
connect you with
editor.
artists.
Huh?
And I could connect you with artists too if you don't have an artist yet.
I want to be my own artist, but
Oh,
Yeah,
you draw?
he's been doing some awesome stuff with some art stuff. Yeah. Tate has a question for you. Do you listen to Moro Beats, a Filipino rap crew that blows his mind?
So Moro Beats, shout out Moro Beats, DJ Med Messiah. Moro Beats tapped in with me when I made a record called Saif. Saif means sword in Arabic. It was my record I created in November. I wrote it in November after the October 7th events. And my producer is Muslim. He's a Filipino Muslim called Digital Martyrs. And when I dropped the record, I flew out to Oakland, California, aka Bip City. If you get your car bipped, it's because they cracked your window and they're on crystal meth and they're trying to steal everything in your car. So that's what Bip City is about. I didn't know what the fuck that shit was about. Can I curse here? I'm sorry. I didn't know what Bip City was about until I pulled up in Oakland and I had my luggage in the trunk of my rental, and my homie's like, you should bring your luggage into the restaurant. I'm like, what I look like pulling up with my luggage, laptop, and like a few outfits on a hanger like into the restaurant? He's like, I mean, unless you want people to rob your car and you don't mind it, then yeah. And I was like, wow, Oakland is that serious. So anyway, yeah, Moro Beats shared Saif on his page. So shout out to Moro Beats. Tate is from the Bay.
mm,
Yeah, there's a lot of people I like, and I like seeing like all the art guys because a lot of writers, a lot of artists, a lot of all the creator dudes like in chat, and I like when they connect, and that's fun. I like seeing that. Yes,
well,
Brandon says, do it, Norman.
this whole thing is because I want. Reason I started this Meet the Artist series because I want to be able to connect, and artists, writers. I mean, I want them to be able to network with each other and stuff, and
And it's perfect for you to kind of pick out for your book. Like, who do you want to color? Who do you want to letter? Who do you want to help you make your story the best story that you could put out? Because I could tell you when I dropped my first issue of Bayani, I retracted that shit. That first issue, I retracted it because it wasn't Filipino enough and it needed revision. And the artist couldn't revise it. So I had to get a whole hire Very Wong from Indonesia. And he helped me reboot the Bayani #1s. So you want to avoid having to reboot. You know what I'm saying? So having an editor on deck is vital to the success of your first issue.
well, one of the lady that this lady right here actually, I saw her. I wanted to have her on my stream, but she never came through. I mean, she never answered us. But why is my camera doing this? Come on, man.
It's got the thingy on. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's Robin Ha. Anyway, one of the things that she said was that you start small. Start small.
Right. Yeah.
And fail with your first ones. Fail with your small projects first.
It,
So and then think about your because I was and that's what when I realized I was thinking too grand of my projects and that's why it's been just sitting there in my brain for last 40 years and 50 years. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna start small. I'm gonna just build basically build the universe using one brick at a time.
I used
So
Bayani as the introduction to multiple characters within the TCNY universe. I used Bayani to start the reader from the Philippines, but there's a whole world around. There's politics across the globe, like the politics of the TCNY universe, which one I tell you is the first Native American president. Like that's um, such a vital and iconic leadership for America. And it's not even America in the TCNY universe. It's a whole nother. It's a whole nother machine. It's a whole nother political machine. When you jump into the Bayani book, you'll realize it. And I know that this interview is guest starring me, but at the same time, I also want to serve as an instrument in the choir of your mission as well.
I
You know,
appreciate that, man. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
for sure.
You, I connect with the man with the spirit. So
Bayani, you know the
I
shop.
don't know if there's a I don't you like reading Stephen King?
I'm a fan of Stephen King.
Yeah, we are doing me and Aaron and Evo Mike. We're doing like a Stephen King like a book club. And we're reading Dark Tower series right now, and there's this term called ka
Ka?
ka yeah ka, and it's ka is like you know whenever they talk about ka they go when their team quartet their team work together, and if they do just right it's a ka that's speaking to us ka.
And you
So
know what?
what your kapa, I'm wondering if Stephen King stole that from
Kapwa.
Philippines. Yeah,
So,
kapa.
and just to add upon what you're saying, Ka in the ancient writing system of the Philippines, Ka is written as an I. It's like a swervy I.
Hmm.
And that I represents Bayani. So what you're reading and who you're talking to has totally aligned, you know?
Yeah,
So
cool.
the Ka, like if there was a symbol for Bayani, it would be the Ka symbol of Babayan. The
Mm.
Babayan is the ancient ancient writing system of the Philippines. Before the Spanish alphabet came in. Um, but
Yeah, look into that Dark Tower series with Stephen King. Where did he find that term? Quartet, ka, and you know.
Ka comes from the Philippines, ancient
So
writing system.
cool.
But the ancient writing system of the Philippines is also the most closest writing system to Aramaic,
Okay,
which is the original writing of the Bible.
right. So yeah, it looks like Stephen King is influenced by Bible quite a bit. So I could see that your writing is gonna be influenced by Bible quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. If you read number 4 of Bayani, I open up with Ephesians 6 verse 12.
Okay, go ahead and tell us the
Oh,
verse.
you want me to preach right now? Nah, brother. Pull up the Bible verse. The Bible verse is basically we are at war with not flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Mm.
Which is to say that the war that we are truly fighting is spiritual. That we are at war with fallen angels.
Cool. Hello, hey Jay. What's the dismay saying here?
Which one? Dismay?
Yeah.
Brandon saying start with issue 1. Get something out rather than nothing.
Yeah. First step first. The 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step.
Tate is a wild boy.
Tate. Yeah, he's.
I gotta give my Tate my love. Hey, Mr. Tank man, how are you? My Tate.
Yeah.
My Tank, my friend.
Bayani! Yo, guys, I gotta go eat these pork chops right now. I gotta go hop a few rooftops to get to these pork chops.
Great.
All right.
Any questions you guys want to ask me?
Before you go, just give us where best for this. All our fans can contact you, reach out to you, and all that stuff.
So I would say the most active social media I use is Bayani.nyc on Instagram, at Bayani BAYANI.nyc. You can also look up The City Needs You on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And man, I just appreciate my time with K-pop and Nam. Y'all really kept this super dope. I really enjoyed this time. It was so natural. I loved it. It was like I was chilling on the stoop and we had a bag of chips and 50-cent juice.
Next time we'll bring both of those and more. So yeah, I'm also hungry. But oh dang, I was gonna say something. My brain just went bloop.
Feedback 31st. May 31st, please.
Yes.
We don't reply to you too, but be back and just chill with us.
Yeah.
For sure. May 31st.
Okay.
Yeah, May 31st.
So before you go one more time, because Norin actually wants to buy your book for his little bro and sis. He thinks he'll like it. So right now you're sold out, but you're going to be getting ready to put another edition on coming up soon. You're restocking.
Yes, for sure.
And then, because that first one that you had on there was a thick one. It was like you said, a couple hundred pages. Yeah. So how many issues is that combined? Is it a combined issue?
That was 7 books, one unreleased amongst the 7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was something that I dropped during New York Comic Con 2023, and I just wanted to make it a bonus for everybody at that time that was coming through to New York Comic Con.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to this. Thanks for giving us those digital copies that we could read on. I'm going to definitely finish it. I had it last night, and I just didn't have all the time to read it. But it was a fantastic start, and definitely want to finish that. This story is gonna looks like it's gonna continue on. And like you say, you're developing a whole universe out of this. So
yeah, we're working on issue 6 right now. We finished with issue 5 for the first story arc, which is the origin arc, Simula ang Bayani, which means origin of a hero. And you can see like these 3 characters on the bottom of the cover. They're like,
let me add that back.
Yeah, they're kids cosplaying characters, like the kid with the Raiden hat. Mm-hmm. It's called a salakot, which is a rice hat. It's a hat that Filipinos would wear in the rice fields when they were picking the rice. The girl is Jasmine Ray, who is the daughter of a scientist, an American scientist, who had mentored Martin Luther King Jr. in real life. Dr. Sandy Ray. she's the daughter of Dr. Sandy Ray, and she's able to mentally use a certain amount of her brain where she could create a psychic exoskeleton, psychic weapons, almost like Green Lantern creates hard constructs with his ring, but she does it with her mind. So, this girl right here is such like a major key in the Bayani series. She's basically the female protagonist.
Okay.
And this character on the bottom left of the book, of the cover, is Rothschild. I mean, if you're familiar with conspiracy theory, you know the name Rothschild. So he has to do with like a whole clandestine secret society of assassins, elite, assassins. If you look at Bayani, he's reading the book, right? But if you look to his right, to his left, you'll see like a dove with sparkling blades on the wings. And if you look above, across the Bayani cover, of the Bayani logo, you'll see swords in the tree. These are just all Easter eggs for the reader to look at, So we're gonna use that original cover for the new slimmed down graphic novella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like an awesome beginning. It looks like an awesome beginning for the giant universe.
You know what I appreciate most about your show, guys, is that you really allow the personality of the creator to come out more than asking them the basic questions about their books for your audience. So I just want to shout you guys out, because I feel like that's the best type of show, is when you skip all the bullshit. All the basic questions.
Yes.
And you allow the natural conversation to take its course.
Well, I don't know if we're doing it right, it's just by accident. It's a con, man.
We're missing two other members of the show, but you guys did great, man. You're awesome.
We gotta meet you.
Well, anyway, before my chuletas get cold.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's say bye to the chat. Thanks, chat, for coming by. Thanks, K-pop. Thanks for buying.
Nam. Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate you. And let's say bye. Yeah.
Wait. Tomorrow, Sean Chen. And then the 30th, we have Bernard Chang. And then the 31st, finale, Duck Rice. Whoa, party.
Give me stuff away. Irish t-shirt and all that stuff.
Woo! Yeah, party.
It's
All right.